As bike technology becomes more and more advanced, I think there's a pushback against that by the minimalist bike that's always trying to maintain the balance. As some things become more and more advanced, in order to keep the balance, other things have to become more simple. The Bisimple epitomizes, to me at least, this ultimate stripped down, bare minimum, simple bicycle. I think it's the same for a lot of people that our passion for bicycles started when we were a kid. Bikes were a source of fun and adventure and freedom, and I've always really loved bicycles because they represent this for so many people all around the world. And the Bisimple was born from this love of bikes. It originally was just a personal project, but seeing how people react has helped me see that I'm not alone. It's not only incredibly fun to ride, but it's a conversation starter. People stop and stare and they ask questions, and they furrow their brow and some smile and laugh, and everybody's curious in one way or another. Nobody walks away completely unaffected by it. People comment on how even though it's fun and almost silly in a way, it's still really sophisticated and stylish. And to me, that's quite the compliment. In a lot of ways, the Bisimple reminds me of what it was like to be a kid. It wasn't just about the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. It was more about the fun and the adventure and the passion. And even though as kids, I don't think we really put those terms to it. I really think that's what we were reacting to. And that's why so many of us love bicycles even as adults. And while the compact design not only makes it nimble and lightweight, it also makes it easy to transport and store. It fits into places that a normal bike simply wouldn't. When I'm not riding it, I think about riding it, and that might be the greatest compliment that I could give any bike.
The guys from Yike Bike, they gave me a few Yike bikes, a film crew, and said, go out and meet some real people. So that's what we're going to do.
It was kind of hard at first, but I got the hang of it after 2 or 3 loops around, so it was really fun.
I thought it was fantastic. The key is to take it a bit slow to begin with, but easy to get a hang of though.
It took me about 3 or 4 minutes, 10 minutes of continual use. It'll be sweet. If it helps public transport issues, just for people to get around, I think it's a good thing.
Fun!
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's real different. Yeah.
How many bikes do you have?
About 23. None of them are anything like this. Really easy to control. The speed and the brakes are really good.
And really easy to a steer once I got the balance sorted out. So much fun, so much better than a real bike.
Hi, I'm John Aldridge, inventor of the Bird of Prey bicycle. I'm a licensed California architect. I live in Carlsbad, California, by the Pacific Ocean, here in beautiful Southern California. The Bird of Prey bicycle is the fastest racing bicycle in the world. Boy, I could do that laying down. Thanks. I ride up and down the Pacific Coast Highway. I ride against fast bike riders. Fast bike riders. I race them. I love racing those bike riders. And I beat them. An old man like me beats them. I also love to race cars. Initially, there was some skepticism from my family and friends, and I wasn't allowed to even mention a bicycle. But eventually, when they saw the bike, they loved it. An obstacle I had in building the bike was finding someone to build it. I can't build the bike. I'm not a bike builder. I finally found Russ Denny, a bicycle builder who had been building bicycles for 35 years. I took drawings to Russ. They were just newspaper sketches. Rolls of newspaper. I was embarrassed to show it to him because I thought he would laugh. And then finally I did show it to him and he said he could build it. and he came up with a beautiful design, a beautiful build. Russ Denny calls me the test pilot. I've been riding this bike now for 5 years. The bike has been developed from experiences I've had while riding it. I guess I'm a bit of a daredevil. I've never crashed. I've gone as fast as 45 miles an hour downhill. It's easy to do, and I guarantee you it is a lot of fun to ride. It's a very comfortable bike. I came up with the concept because I was disappointed at how slow a bicycle goes when you're in the wind. I needed something that was aerodynamic, and I thought of getting down low. The reason it's easy to ride fast is because the Bird of Prey obviously is a very aerodynamic bicycle. The Bird of Prey bicycle is not a prone bicycle. It is a semi-prone bicycle. That means that your body, you can see where you're going. Your head is up. You're not looking down at the pavement. The reason I designed the Bird of Prey bicycle is to make it aerodynamic, because I was having trouble when I went downhill. The wind resistance was so strong. At 22 miles per hour, 80% of your pedaling power is spent just to overcome wind resistance. With a Bird of Prey bicycle, part of the way I designed it was that I held my hands up until they were just like comfortable. And I lifted my head until it was just comfortable, right about here. And then I knew that I could just lay forward down on the bike. And that was the position that I finally ended up with, where I was laying far enough forward to be aerodynamic and I could see where I was going. When you swim in a swimming pool, you swim in a prone position. I never saw anybody sitting down swimming in a swimming pool. The Bird of Prey bicycle is a very safe bike. You cannot flip over the handlebars. On a normal sit-down, a standard sit-down bike, if you slam the brakes on, you'll flip right over the handlebars in a panic stop or when you hit a bump. I know, it's happened to me many times. I'm lucky to be alive. But on a Bird of Prey bicycle, when you slam those brakes on in a panic stop, you just come simply to a stop. You do not crash. The pedal power of a Bird of Prey bicycle is superior to that of a sit-down bike. On a sit-down bike, you're bent over at the waist. I never saw anybody run a foot race bent over at the waist, bringing their knees up to their chests. On a Bird of Prey bicycle, you're in a full layout position where you have the full power of your legs to pedal with. The Bird of Prey bicycle is geared for high speed. We have a 60-tooth chain ring and an 11 to 10-tooth rear cog. That gives you a lot of pedaling power. So the Bird of Prey bicycle is a marriage of aerodynamics, gearing, and body position, creating the fastest racing bike in the world. When people see the Bird of Prey bicycle, they always say, "I've never seen anything like that before," and they're right. The Bird of Prey bicycle is the only modern prone bike. There are other prone bikes being built, but none of them have the geometry and the setup as the Bird of Prey bicycle. It's comfortable. People always ask me, they say it does not look comfortable. I've had people drive by in cars and yell, "Ouch!" out the window. You're not laying on your stomach. You're laying on the iliac crest, the upper prominent part of the hip bone. The Bird of Prey bicycle can be ridden by triathletes who want to improve their time. It can be ridden by people for pleasure, and it can be ridden by people who have back pain. People with chronic back pain that can't sit down on a bicycle can ride the Bird of Prey bike because they're laying down. You have no pressure on your spine. Just imagine what you could do on a Bird of Prey bicycle. So how's that feel?
Well, it feels a little different, but I could probably get used to it.
Actually, it's really nice. My back feels fantastic. My shoulders feel good. The padding is really nice.
I like the aerodynamics.
got a nice leg extension on it too.
The sales for the Bird of Prey bicycle starts on December 1st, 2015. The day will come when we see Bird of Prey bicycles ridden by people all over the world. So it's time to fly on the Bird of Prey bicycle.
This is one hot ride, but if you're on four wheels, don't get too close or you'll definitely feel the heat.
We don't want to hurt anyone, but we want to give car drivers a bit of a warning shot if they get too close.
Yannick Reed built this rad riding machine. Not only is he an avid cyclist, but he sells bicycle insurance for a living. So he's all too familiar with the challenges bicycling Brits face.
We asked 1,000 cyclists who visited our website what their main gripes were with cycling, and then we built the bike in response to those things.
He calls it the Bond bike.
BOND is an acronym. It stands for Built of Notorious Deterrence. We also like the association with the James Bond films that are very popular over here in England, and James Bond is a character who likes his gadgets and likes his vehicles, and they all have these amazing extras and accessories, and so our bike tied in quite well with that too.
And #1 on the steamed cyclist hit list?
By far, the thing that they really didn't like was cars and lorries overtaking too close. And so in answer to that, we built a flamethrower into the handlebars of the bike. We've done some testing with it today, actually. It works pretty well, yeah.
It uses a combination of magician's flash paper and gun cotton. It's all triggered by nitric acid. Now, Yannick isn't encouraging everyone to start fire blasting passing cars, but he does hope it drives his point home.
It's an extreme measure, and we wouldn't be too pleased, I guess, if cyclists started fitting this to all their bicycles. But it's a good way of you know, getting the message out to cars and lorries that they shouldn't get too close to bicycles when they overtake them.
Next up on the list of pet peeves, UK potholes and snowy weather.
Another thing that cyclists objected to was the state of the roads here, particularly in urban areas. You get a lot of potholes on the road. So what we did is we fitted the bike with a caterpillar track, like the type of thing you'd see on a tank. It's built by a company called K-Track. That's a Canadian company, and they build these things for using on snow, but they work just as well on mud or sand and other extreme terrain.
Time to give the Canadian-made track a good Canadian-like test. Yannick gives it a go on the hills at the indoor snow zone.
And what you can do is remove the front wheel, swap it with this ski blade, and we don't get too much snow, but when it does snow, the whole transport system tends to break down, so the buses don't run, people are skidding all over the roads. We're not used to it. So what this caterpillar track means is that cyclists can keep going whatever the conditions.
Cyclists also complain that drivers like to use the excuse at night, "Hey, I didn't see you," if they get too close. Yannick has a solution for that too.
This is the most powerful cycle light in the world. It puts out 1,800 lumens. A car headlamp on full beam is just putting out about 1,500. So for all the motorists who pull out in front of bicycles and say that they didn't see them, they don't really have any excuse with this bicycle light.
And one of the other big frustrations of cyclists? Theft. Yep, there's even a Bond gadget for that.
It's kind of extreme. It's an ejector seat built into the seat post here.
It's loaded with 5 powerful springs. The rear brake cable has been rerouted to the ejector mechanism.
I don't want to demonstrate that myself, and I don't see any volunteers stepping forward, so I've got a little mini-me character that I'm going to put on the bike, and I'm going to demonstrate how it works. He's riding down the road. Off he goes.
So all you bike thieves and pushy motorists out there, you've been warned. But don't expect to see these contraptions on every street corner.
We built this bike not because we expected anyone to buy them or to fit their bikes with these weird and wonderful accessories, but we wanted to make motorists, car drivers, lorry drivers more aware of cyclists on the road.
And besides, it takes a special agent to be able to ride a Bond bike. And Yannick is still working on it.